Hello, Minnesota Vikings fans and NFL lovers. Today we have two pieces of news that are driving NFL fans crazy. Stay until the end of the video and you will be surprised. And leave your like, because this news is very good. Also, leave your comment about what you think of this Vikings signing. Now let's go to today's news. Vikings flirt with elite talent in the 2025 draft. Emeka Egbuka could be Minnesota's new aerial weapon. With one of the NFL's best receivers already established on their roster, the Minnesota Vikings have no doubts about who the main name is in the aerial attack: Justin Jefferson. The number 18 is a true reception machine and a natural target for any quarterback. He attracts double teams, dominates routes, and turns short passes into big plays. However, even with this star on the roster, the search for more firepower continues. That's where the speculation about a new talent comes in, and not just any talent. In the most recent mock draft produced by Steve Palazzolo and Sam Monson, analysts at PFF, Pro Football Focus, the Vikings were linked to a name that could shake up the future of the offense: Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver from Ohio State. Experts have projected that Minnesota could pick him in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft. Egbuka, a national champion, is one of those prospects who starts the season as a second-round pick, but quickly rises up the boards as scouts dive into his film and data. And it's not hard to see why. Jordan Addison, drafted in 2023, has shown flashes of brilliance and has everything to establish himself as a respected WR2. Still, his consistency needs to improve. Jalen Nailor, on the other hand, continues to struggle to prove that he can be a relevant piece in the rotation, something that has yet to materialize. In this context, bringing in a talent like Egbuka makes sense. He wouldn't come to replace anyone immediately, but to strengthen a receiving core that, aside from Jefferson, still lacks consistency and depth. A slot specialist, Egbuka is the kind of receiver who understands the field like a veteran. His routes are precise. His ability to create separation is above average, and he has a knack for finding space in congested zones. He's not an elite sprinter or a monster on contested balls, but his technical style and tactical read make him an extremely valuable option, especially in third-down situations. He excels on short and intermediate routes, using quick changes of direction to beat defenders and generate yards after the catch. In other words, he moves the chains. And in an offensive system that values timing, rhythm, and situational awareness, like Kevin O'Connell's, that's gold. With J.J. McCarthy taking over the Vikings offense, surrounding the talented young quarterback will be key to the team's immediate and future success. McCarthy comes in with the responsibility of leading an offensive overhaul, and having reliable options around him will make it easier for him to adapt. Egbuka, in this scenario, appears to be a perfect fit. A reliable receiver in the middle of the field who can be that go-to safety in moments of pressure. Along with Jefferson and Addison, he would help form a dynamic trio capable of testing any secondary in the league. Of course, Egbuka is not a flawless prospect. His physicality is still a weakness, and he could struggle against more aggressive defenders. But he is the kind of player who seems tailor-made to develop quickly in the NFL, especially in a well-structured environment like the one the Vikings are building. With a modern coaching staff and a playbook that prioritizes tactical intelligence, he could blossom quickly. In an increasingly offensive NFL, there is no such thing as too much talent in the passing game. The Vikings know that in order to compete at the highest level, they need to give their new quarterback a complete arsenal. Emeka Egbuka may not be the most explosive name in the upcoming draft, but he is undoubtedly one of the most prepared to contribute from day one. And if the most recent projections are anything to go by, the marriage between Egbuka and Minnesota may be closer than many imagine. Could Aidan O'Connell be the Vikings' ideal backup plan? As Minnesota Vikings fans eagerly await the future of the franchise, one question remains: Who will be the backup quarterback in 2025? J.J. McCarthy, a newcomer and promising talent coming off the draft, is expected to be the starter from the first snap of the season. Brett Rypien, on the other hand, is a name that has the confidence of the coaching staff. But the absence of a veteran option in the group is still a point of concern. It is common in the NFL for teams in transition, such as the Vikings, to bet on a mix of youth and experience to support the roster. And with the free agent market practically exhausted, the most realistic solution for the franchise may come through a trade, something that could happen shortly after next week's NFL draft. In this context, one name is starting to gain traction. Behind the scenes, Aidan O'Connell. Aidan O'Connell isn't exactly a star in the league, but his name carries a certain weight. Chosen in the 4th round of the 2023 draft, coming from Purdue University, the quarterback has drawn attention for his maturity on the field and his accuracy in adverse situations. In his short professional career, he has already played in 20 games, starting in 17 of them. In those games, O'Connell completed more than 62% of his passes and accumulated 20 touchdowns against 11 interceptions. Solid numbers for a player who is still developing his identity in the NFL. Despite this, the scenario in Las Vegas has changed drastically. With the arrival of the experienced Geno Smith to the Raiders during this offseason, it became clear that the team's new coach, Pete Carroll, intends to bet on stability and rotation at the quarterback position. Geno should be the commander of the offense in the short term, which leaves O'Connell in a delicate situation. Too young to be a permanent bench player, but not so promising to be kept at any cost by a team in reconstruction. And that's where the Vikings come into the equation. If Las Vegas is willing to trade the quarterback for a mid- or late draft pick, Minnesota could come out on top. Aidan wouldn't be coming in to play the lead, but rather to fill an essential position, safety on the bench. A reliable name, with some playing experience and potential to improve. Although the franchise's plan is to give J.J. McCarthy full power, no team in the NFL can afford to rely entirely on a rookie, no matter how talented he is. Injuries happen. Adjustments take time. Pressure weighs. And in this scenario, having a backup quarterback ready to take over, even temporarily, can be the difference between a competitive season and the bottom of the table. During his rookie campaign, O'Connell had a 5-5 record. The following season, he faced more challenges, winning only 2 of the 7 games in which he started. Still, he showed flashes of quality, especially in games where the system favored him. A new environment with a solid offensive line and a well-structured offense could be the boost he needs to grow. Like Sam Darnold, another example of a quarterback who seems to have found new life on a new team, O'Connell could see Minnesota as the best opportunity of his career. Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has taken a cautious approach to the quarterback position. He knows that a hasty decision could jeopardize the team's entire long-term plan. But he also understands the importance of building a solid, versatile foundation. Trading with the Raiders doesn't just seem reasonable, it seems smart. In a tight market, finding a young, potential, field-tested player is rare. And with time on the Vikings' side before the season starts, making a move now could be the missing piece to complete the roster puzzle. Ultimately, Aidan O'Connell isn't the definitive answer to the Vikings' future, but he might be the right question for the present.